Hello, my name is Lydia, and today will be day one of how I handled my sick baby for 8 days straight and still ... What is that three dots? Is number one, I actually launched a workshop. Number two, I closed a $1,200 insurance sale, not through face-to-face, but just over a Zoom call, and the whole time I was sick. So how did I end up doing that? So welcome to my 7 days magical momentum challenge where I come on live to actually share with you what my business is all about as a CEO woman coach. I actually help ambitious CEO women create time freedom in her life, and that would actually just be the very beginning for her to actually taste whole freedom, right? It actually would be the stepping stone to leading emotional freedom. It'd be blocking a lot of mindset shift as well, okay, in her journey. And today I was supposed to have this in the afternoon, but today was really hectic. I had my CNY team lunch with my insurance team, and then I rushed back for a 1.5 hour really power-packed coaching session with my VIP client, and then went to pick up my baby and dinner and so on. So that's why, but regardless, I still would love to come in to share about this story because I feel so excited. I feel so excited to be telling this story because so many entrepreneurs, working parents, stay-at-home mothers, and mompreneurs deserve to know the truth. Okay, the last 2 weeks before Chinese New Year was the craziest mess I ever had as a mompreneur. And if you actually know my background story, the reason how I actually came up to be a time productivity coach was precisely because of that very same challenge, trying to handle a sick baby to alongside with working at the same time 2 years ago. And after I experienced how struggling it was, how inefficient I was trying to fight fire, in that firefighting mode, trying to handle my work and then take care of my baby and handle my work and so on until it left me burnt out. I realized why it was so important for me to relearn how to manage my time, how to handle my own energy, and most importantly will be some of the big mindset shifts that I'm going to share later on, especially if you are a mompreneur or if you are a working parent and you also have, that big ambitions, but you also want to be there for your children. We are often caught in between a rock and a hard place. We often have to think about, sacrificing one thing for another because everybody is doing that. But at the end of the day, it is really about having that capacity to hold, right? If you actually want to be, like in my case, I would love to be, and I'm already stepping in that zone of being a serial mompreneur, I gotta be okay with hotness. I gotta be okay with imperfection, with, the school calling me, telling me that my son is sick. I gotta go and handle him, putting aside my work stuff, my meetings, telling people that no, I gotta attend to my baby first. I gotta be okay with doing that. And through this experience, I realized how great, to be honest, I handled that as compared to 2 years ago. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's messy, it's crazy, especially. So what happened was that my son ended up having a viral conjunctivitis, which of course led to about 5 to 6 days of viral fever. But why the fever was then after that extended, we only discovered that when we actually saw his fever increase still after 2 to 3 days. So normally a viral fever takes about 3 to 5 days to go off, and then any longer would actually be because of a bacterial infection and so on. So we actually went to the children's hospital twice, not once but twice, right? And I even still remember that day where we actually went down to the hospital the second time. Okay, I was in my mind, I was actually wanting to have that morning him dropping off in childcare, and then me settling the mandarin oranges, settling the decor and everything, but everything was just out the window. So I was going back to NB days because my son was cranky with fever. Yay, hi, My son was cranky with fever. He was so lethargic. He was sleeping, but when he was sleeping, he also wanted me to be by his side. So his fever also ran up. We actually had to watch over his fever in case it went up too high, sponging him and so on. So the whole time, okay, and I was sick. So what did I do? Number one, I stopped fighting it. If I'm sick, I just be sick. That's it. So normally a lot of people, in fact, one of the biggest mistakes that I did previously was that when I was not feeling well, I would try to fight it and try to be okay by sitting in front of the computer and doing my work, but feeling like shit after that because I feel so goddamn lethargic. And so when I was actually sick for the first few days, in fact, I actually got the viral eye from him as well. So my body actually took a huge beating, like flu, a headache, the whole stuffy nose, cough and everything, and I ended up with dry cough, in fact, which is even worse than a normal wet cough, was that I actually stopped fighting it and I actually just be sick. Be with the sickness. If I need to sleep, I sleep. In fact, like when I put him to sleep, I would also go to sleep myself. I was just resting all the time with him. I took the opportunity with him to rest. Right. And I think one great thing was that emotionally, mentally, I was with the sickness. I wasn't thinking about like, what will happen to my business or later my insurance money and everything, my insurance. I wasn't thinking about anything of that because I know and I gave myself the opportunity that if I'm not well, I go and take a rest. And I feel like a lot of mompreneurs, especially like entrepreneurs, often neglect themselves in that area. Whenever like we end up being sick, right, we actually end up criticizing ourselves really badly. Like, why am I sick? I shouldn't be sick. Sickness is bad. But actually, in actual truth, if you learn how to deal with it, sickness is really a way of your body resetting the immune system, isn't it? So if you actually give your body at that point in time the great opportunity to rest, okay, you actually will be back at your work at a faster rate because rather than you dragging it out. So number one, stop fighting it. Okay, be with your sickness mentally and emotionally. So of course I had to do a lot of background work in order to clear this out. Of course I had nagging thoughts last in the past that was, how can I be sick? What happened to this? What happened to that? And that was really what happened to my version 2 years ago. That's why I was like burnt out at the end of the day. But right now when I'm sick together with my son, I give myself the opportunity to rest. I have no guilt. Okay, guilt is a negative emotion and it really weighs you down. I have no guilt. I feel really great that I actually get to rest fully and I give myself the opportunity to do so. Okay, so I stop fighting it. Number two, I often take a lot of meditation breaks in between looking after my son or when he's sleeping, so I get to recharge myself, right? And I think that was one of the things that was a missing puzzle compared to my 2 years ago where I was just like doing nonstop. And this time around, I actually went to take the opportunity for meditation because it gave myself mentally opportunity to rest, give me that mental break, took me away out of that sick situation where I was sick, the baby was sick, was just like clouded in this like mess of sickness. Okay, and it definitely gave me a lot of mental space to recharge, which this is one thing that I keep talking about again, the 30 minutes meditation routine and all that, which of course is one of my power time bundle, one of the core things that I always integrate into my clients first thing when they come to me for coaching. I also do a lot of breath work to release pent-up energy, frustration or exhaustion, and I have zero minimum plan for my work. So this means my expectations are out of the window, and I turn down people with no guilt, with no I'm so sorry or that. No, not this. It's like if I'm sick, like I deserve to be sick, okay, just like any other normal human being, and right now is the time for me to rest. So I actually turned down like 2 networking meetings. I actually turned down like 3 business owners one-to-one meetings, and I actually even swapped out my face-to-face insurance meeting to an online one with zero attachment, thinking that the person would say no or whatever because I deserve to rest. Okay, so and I think that really helped to actually clear up. That's why I actually talk a lot about having very clean energy, having very clean emotions. A lot of people, when they want to say no to people or they want to reject like clients, in fact, so one of them I rejected was my client, and she said that, okay, why not let's do an insurance meeting online instead. And the greatest thing was, in the end, we just closed the sale anyway. I closed the laptop and I went to sleep for close to 1 hour 40 minutes. It was great. See, so you see, at the end of the day, I get my rest and I get the money in my bank. So who says that when you're sick, you can't make money, right? And of course, a lot of people always have a lot of guilt, a lot of like emotion attached to like, oh, if I'm sick, what will she think about me, and so on. Like, I clean that out and I have very, very clean energy. Like if I tell people, I'm sorry, like I can't meet you because I have infectious, I kind of like expect you to understand, like you would not say no, right? Because you wouldn't want to get the eye from me, right? And of course, the networking meetings, like I had zero attachment. Like I'm out of here means I'm out of here and I deserve to rest, just together with my son as well, and to be together with him. So I think that was really very clear in terms of the clean energy. In a lot of people, like even when they say no, but they have a lot of nagging thoughts like, oh, I feel bad, I think the person will say no to me, what will people think about me? Nah, I have zero of that. Okay, and that is how that is really one of the pillars about why when I do things is really efficient. I'm very decisive and I'm very, very clear because my emotions are all very clean already. Okay, and the second thing that I would really give very strong credit would actually be very clear support and communication with your partner. So this is why when I actually and that was really what gave me the emotional boost even though I was so sick, that I know that I have a very strong and stable partner to rely on. And coming to this space of very strong and clear communication with your partner is not an easy task, especially for women when we are very ambitious. We have a lot of things, and of course, like sometimes, it may look a little bit messy, like in other people's eyes. Like one moment you still want to work, but your son is sick and so on. But when we actually build a very strong communication system together with our partner, spending a lot of time with them. And this is the reason why which I'm going to talk about it tomorrow, that I never believe in order to have success or to have great money, you have to give up family. And I give myself credit for upgrading. Like when I put a lot of effort to upgrade my business or to make it more even efficient, I have never ever thought that it will come at paying a price to give up my family or give up more personal time. No. In fact, I know that if I have their support, I will be even better in where I am right now. And I think that is really where having clear support and communication with your partner is one of the strongest support system that any woman, whether you're making big bucks or you're just like an everyday regular job, you deserve to have that. And I think that was really one of the second things that helped me. And the last one would actually, of course, putting in a very effortless sales system so in all of my businesses, so that it supports me when I'm down. And it also means that I get to have money coming in even when I'm sick, even when I take rest. Okay, and I also clean up that mindset. I took that mindset out of my mind that I have to always be on good energy in order to receive money. I think that is one of the mistakes that people normally have, that if they think that if they want to receive money, they have to be on form, they cannot be sick and so on. But the truth is that we are humans. We are humans and we also need to rest. And so when we actually deny ourselves of the opportunity to rest, we are expecting ourselves to work like machine. And if you're expecting yourself to work like machine, there'll be a time where your body gets exhausted emotionally, mentally, and physically. So one of the very interesting things was that like through this whole period of time, physically, I was not well. Like physically, I was sick, like to the bones, and my son was sick. But mentally, I was really clear. Okay, and again, like mentally really clear. Why? Is because of meditation. I actually had very clean emotions. I did not have great expectations. I had minimum plan for my work, and that was how I actually managed to launch a workshop. And in all honesty, with my sickness and his sickness, I think it was quite a good job. I managed to launch a workshop, and I still managed to close a $1,200 insurance sale over the Zoom call. So my mind was very clear. Physically, I was very exhausted. So I think it gave me like a very big lesson that your physical, it doesn't matter what your physical state is. Your physical state can be sick, can be exhausted, but if your mind is really clear, like you have total mental clarity, like I don't even need to like rehearse about what I would like to talk about in my workshop, because I really knew what I wanted to say. So all I need to do was just to on the Zoom video and like live, and then I can just come in and share. And that was how like spontaneous it was. That was how time efficient it was. And that's it. Like after I just opened the laptop, okay, I even had my pointers just on a random piece of paper, which is not what I would used to do. But if all perfect scenario, I will write down all the points, okay, and have it in an Excel sheet, and then I will start talking on live, but not in this case. And after I was done, I just threw that piece away, closed my laptop, and off I went. So this is the reason how like when you get to be so time efficient, you really unlock that time freedom. Time freedom meaning that you do things so fast and so decisive and so clear that number one, you get the results that you want with that laser focus. You create great results. And number two, you actually freaking save so much time. Instead of sitting in front of the computer, you go and have a blast with your kid, or you really go and sleep. Like there is nothing wrong with sleeping. If you're sick, you just go and rest. Like stop trying to be in front of the computer, okay, when your mind needs to rest. So I feel like this is really one true story that many entrepreneurs, like whether you are like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, or whether you are Oprah Winfrey, you will go through health breakdown for sure. But it's about how we actually handle ourselves in that chaotic hot mess. Do you kill yourself about it? Do you criticize yourself for being sick? Or do you give yourself the opportunity, that grace, that compassion, that I'm going to rest. However, I'm going to do like the minimum plan for my work, which was what I did. I launched my workshop. I actually closed $1,000, 200 insurance sales over a Zoom call. And then I was sick for the whole time. So this is really one story that I would love for working parents, stay-at-home mompreneurs to know that it is chaotic, it is messy, right? But at the end of the day, it's about how we handle, how we have that capacity to hold all this messiness while kicking our ass at our work. So this is a really a great sharing that I would love to talk about. And tomorrow, all right, tomorrow on day 2, I would actually be sharing the 3 myths to getting 100K. So this is really juicy because I'm actually going to debunk 3 big myths that I have specifically experienced in the insurance industry, but it's applicable for any hustler because insurance industry is a very known hardcore sales, very competitive, very hustling industry. And I've been here for about eight this year my 9th year and going, and it really is a career that I really enjoy. I no doubts about it. I really love sales. I really love talking to people. I really love closing deals and making money. Yes, and I really love providing solutions for people. But of course, I had to clear out a lot of my hustling mentality, which is gonna support my serial mompreneur lifestyle that I would love to have for my family. All right, so watch out for tomorrow being day 2 on the 3 myths to getting 100K, and I'll see you around.